All right, everybody. Well, welcome to PE this week. I'm looking forward to getting you involved in the various activities that we have going. And I want to remind you, make sure your space is safe. Make sure that people are around in case you were to get hurt to help you. But we are going to enjoy some time working, and we're going to start today with a little bit of a different type of warm-up. This is called dynamic stretching, which means we're going to be stretching our bodies in movement rather than static stretching, which is kind of bending and holding. So it'll look a little bit different and feel a little bit different, but this is an equally great way to warm up your body and get things going. So let's begin with our dynamic stretching. I'm going to get out of your way here. And we're going to start here with alternating high kicks. And you'll hear my voice come into the video. We're going to do the round of dynamic stretching 2 times. So you'll come back to this stretch again after you do all of them. So we'll come through twice, and then after that, we'll go into our activities for the week. So have a good time. Start off with alternating high kicks, and we'll get going here. So we're going to kick one foot out, then kick the other foot out. If you want to make this a little more challenging, reach out for your opposite toe when it comes up. Excellent. Alternating crab toe touches. Similar movement, twisting, stretching out that hamstring, touching the toe, this time from a horizontal position. And we're waking up our arms a little more. Good job. Alternating knee tuck, quad stretch. Pull up on a knee, pull up on the other knee, pull the back of your foot, and pull the other foot. I'm going to get through a couple of good ones of these. Tucking that knee, then pulling back on the foot. Good job. Alternating hip turn out. You're going to go right leg, knee up and out. Left leg, knee up and out. Alternating legs in order to work our hip flexors, open up our hips, keeping that planted foot in place each time. Good, we're going over lunge with a twist over your knee. Wait to twist until after you take your lunge step, and you're going to twist over the extended leg. So don't twist away from the leg that you step out with, twist over it. Great job. Windmills, torso twist. Again, twisting across, full range of movement, reaching down and across, keeping knees straight. Standing all the way back up every turn. We have big arm circles, big arm circles. So big arm circles forward for 10 seconds. Then we're going to go backward for 10 seconds. Great. Back kicks. Keep your foot placement consistent. Kind of tighten that ankle joint. We're going to focus on kicking back, so we're stretching our quadriceps, we're keeping our backs straight. It's a controlled movement, really good for your legs. Then we go into high knees, immediately into high knees, bringing those knees up as high as you can, ideally to your belly button level. Again, consistent foot placement. We want to land on the front half of our foot and explode back up. Good, and ending first round with jumping jacks. Keep your back straight. Work through your jack, full range of motion. So open up those shoulders, stretch out your chest, your shoulders, whole side of your body. Good. Okay, we're going to get back to the beginning, which is Alternating high kicks, but give yourself a little break. We'll start in 10 seconds. All right, now you know the exercises, so you can kind of do them more efficiently. Alternating high kicks. Good. Alternating crab toe touches. Next up are going to be our knee tucks. Coming up next are going to be our hip turnouts. After that, we have our lunge twists. Of course, alternate sides. Don't just go to one side. Into some arm circles. Oh, I'm sorry, torso twist with your windmill. Forgot about that one. Standing up tall each time. The temptation is to not stand up, but remember we're warming up our lower back as well. You want to warm that up, so be sure you're standing up each time you twist. Now we're on to big arm circles. Then the back kicks. Excellent. Into high knees. And finally, jumping jacks. All right, everybody. That's a great job. So that is a dynamic warm-up, meaning we're moving our bodies through stretches as well as warm-up movements. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. All right, now we're going to get into our first set of gymnastics. So enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, everybody, it's time for us to be doing a little bit of our gymnastics unit. Now, in our remote setting at home, we're going to be starting our gymnastics unit, but when we get back together, we'll be doing considerably more together. So this one is to get our feet wet in gymnastics and to start to think about the movements that we can incorporate into our various lessons later on in the school year. So, first off, let me get to where, here I am, we can get to our plan. Here's the plan. First, we're going to do a mix of exercises, balance, and gymnastics moves. So we're going to be doing those three things all together. And we're going to be trying to do them at a pace, not too fast. Talk about that more in a minute. We're going to do them in a station format, meaning we're going to do one thing at a time. And if we were in the gym, you might do one exercise and then move to a new spot and do another exercise in that spot. We won't be moving spots, obviously, but we'll be doing one exercise for a short period of time, giving that a break, and then going into the next exercise. All right, we want to think about safety first. So first, make sure you have plenty of room around you and that your area is safe to move in. If you are working on a carpet, that's great. If you're working on a hard floor, that's not great. Please make sure you have something soft under you, whether it's blankets or a yoga mat or something, where if you were to fall down in a balance and bump your head, you're not bumping it on a hard floor, it'll be something soft. You can work outside too. Just make sure you're working outside in the grass, not on a sidewalk. Okay, so that's important, your space and the area and what you're working on. Second, make sure someone's home with you while you're exercising with us during gymnastics. That way, if you did bump your head, you got somebody there to help you feel better. Don't move too quickly or do something too many times all at once. Sometimes when we're in class, you get those kids that are just so excited about doing something like a forward roll, and they do 50 of them, and then they come back the next day and they're like, man, my shoulders hurt. Well, don't do 50 of them. When we're doing our different balances and exercises today, do some, but don't do a whole bunch or really fast or anything like that. Just kind of pace yourself. We don't have to go very quickly because you have all week. Shoot, you have it all year. You want to do this, you come back to it anytime you want. If something is too difficult to do right now, give it a little try or modify it, change it so that you can do it, maybe it'll be a little different, but you can do it. Or give it a break. Go back to the last thing we did. Do that for the time that we're working in this station, then move on to the next thing. And then tomorrow, come back and give it a shot. Okay? So safety is very important. All right, we're going to start off with a couple of little balances. This is the airplane balance, and I want you to notice this young lady has, she's balancing first on one leg. Her knee is straight. Her arms are straight out like airplane wings. And her back and her leg make a big line. So that she's leaned forward, so her back and her leg are making one straight line, and then her balancing leg is making another line. So if you can hold this for 5 seconds, give it a try. You ready? Set, hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got it. All right, now switch legs. We want to go to the other side. You ready? Get set. Try and hold that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now relax a second. If you fell down, that's okay. If you fell out of it and then had to get back into it, that's okay. Wake up every day and we're weirdly balanced. We don't have all the same balance every day, so this is a good way to kind of wake it up, and we can come back to this anytime you want to. All right, now I want you to walk on a line, forward and backward. You say, that's easy, Mr. Kinlaw. Why would I ever need to do that? Well, first of all, not terribly easy all the time. Second of all, I want to see if you can get that backward part. And third of all, I don't want you to just walk like you would normally walk. I want you to walk heel to toe. So put your heel up against your toe, walk straight down that line. Then once you get to the end of it, or to a good stopping point, don't turn around. Start walking backward, put your toe up to your heel, and keep those feet on that line coming backward. Think about where you're looking. It helps to look at the line in front of you, even if you're walking backward. The moment you move your head off of that line that is your spine, it throws your balance a little bit. So you have to adjust to it. So it's a good idea to keep that head kind of over your spine so you're walking forward and backward in a straight line. Great job. We're going to move on to the next station. Come back to this anytime you want. Stork balance. The stork balance is just like the airplane balance, except this guy here is standing up tall. So his arms are out like the airplane balance. He's balanced on one straight leg like the airplane balance. But here he's standing up tall and he's got his foot resting against his thigh with his toe just above his knee. See if you can do that. If you fall out of it, come right back into it. Try and balance out. Use those arms out wide to try to keep your balance. Now switch to your other leg. We do have a different balance feel for both sides of our body. So you may notice today your right leg balance is really great. Tomorrow your left leg may balance better than your right. It's kind of strange how that works. So do our best here. All right, great. Give that a little rest. Now we're going to move into a bear crawl on a line. So go back to that line. Put your hands and your feet in a line on the line. So this guy right here doesn't know there's a line because I put that line there after he was crawling. But he is crawling forward and backward. And so he's going to try to keep both hands and both feet on that line every step. So it's kind of like a bear walking across a log that's laying across a river, right? So you want to stay with both hands and both feet on that line as you move forward and backward. Backward part's a little harder than the forward part. You may even find that if you stall out and you sit in one spot for a second, that's actually hard to hold because all of your body is on that one line. Great job. Okay, now we're going to move into a tree balance. You say this looks just like the stork balance. It does, except, of course, this young lady's arms are up. You can have your arms like hers are. It's kind of like namaste right there, right? Namaste right here. Or you can have your arms out like branches of a tree. They can angle out. Either is fine. She's got her foot against her thigh, straight leg, bent leg here. So she's got a good line, and you can notice this is easy to kind of point out, but her hands are directly over her nose, which is directly over her belly button, which is directly over her knee, which is directly over her heel. That is a perfect line of symmetry. Okay, you can try that on both sides, but we're going to move on here to rockers. Rockers. Now, there are two types of rockers we can do. I really like the one that this young lady here is working on. This makes me feel good because I can feel my back kind of open up. So I just rock back and forth. You don't want to go up on your head here, so don't roll back to your head. Just roll back kind of to your shoulders and then roll back up. This feels really nice. You can just hug, but you want to make your back the shape of a C. So your back is the shape of a C and you're rolling up and down that spine, kind of waking it up, getting it used to being rolled on. If you find yourself landing hard on your back, you're not curving your back. Your back needs to be like a rocking chair. So don't keep that back straight, because if you keep your back straight and you fall back, boom, you hit the ground real hard. Try and curve that back so it rocks nicely back and forth. Okay? This guy here is doing a different version of rockers, but this is kind of cool. He has his whole body in that C shape, and he's rocking back and forth. Again, he's not feeling any kind of pound on the ground. He's just simply rocking. All right? Very good. Okay, give that a little rest. Now we're going to go into another type of balance. This is a touch ground balance. Before you do this, look at this lady here. She's standing on her left leg, but she's going to touch the ground with her right hand. She's touching the ground with the opposite hand from the foot that's on the ground. Now you notice she's hopping. You can hop, but you don't have to. You can stand up and then lean back over. I want you to try and touch the ground 3 times in a row by standing all the way up and then leaning all the way over to touch and then standing all the way up. Try that now. 1 time, I'm guessing here, but I bet you can do it. 2 times, nice and slow, 3 times. Now switch feet. See if you can touch with your right foot balancing, but your left arm, left hand touching the ground. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. This is a great one to come back to as well. I really like this one. There's a bunch of variations, the changes that we can do to it. So that's a good one to work on. Okay, the donkey kick. This lady is doing a donkey kick way better than I am, or I can. I have done donkey kicks now for 18 years, and I've never made one look quite that impressive. She even claps her feet at the top. Mine get to about right here, and then I land kind of hard on the ground. The key here is make sure you put your hands on the ground flat, not on your fingers. Hands on the ground flat, kick your feet up in the air together, and then land on your feet on the ground together. Just a note, don't bash your toes into the ground. Put enough weight on your hands that it gives you time to come back down on your feet kind of soft. Okay, so let's give it a try. We're going to kick our feet up and then land our feet back down. So standing tall, putting hands on the ground, feet go up, feet come down, stand back up. Go for it a few times. Yeah, the gymnastics unit is one unit where Mr. Kinlaw is glad to have some clip art to put in. For our kindergartners, I'm a large person, and so if you see me walking around, you'll realize why Mr. Kinlaw is not the best gymnast demonstrator. But I try, and I'll try when we get back together again. Okay, next up we have the forward roll. The forward roll, this young lady down here is doing it in motion. Here's what I want you to think about though. The forward roll is a roll where you're going to stand tall, you're going to crouch. Look what goes on the ground first, after the feet are on the ground, of course, are the hands. Hands go down first. She's going to tuck her chin very close to her knees and tuck her head down. Her hands are on the outside of where her head is going to go. Then she puts the back of her head on the ground, not the top of her head, the back of her head on the ground. Then she makes that C shape with her spine, just like we were practicing in rockers. And she rolls out and up. And then she's so good that when she rolls, the body just rolls forward, and then she puts her feet flat on the ground and goes crouching position into a standing position. So in real speed, it looks kind of like this girl down here. You're going to stand, put your hands down to protect your head, rest the back of your head and your shoulders on the ground. Let your body just kind of fall forward. It'll just naturally roll forward once you get that shoulders down. And then you're going to stand up on your feet if you can. If you stall out and you end up sitting in the ground, that's all right. That's good. Maybe next time you get a little more speed and you can pop right up. This is something you can get better and better at. This is also something I don't need you to do a million times today. Maybe 10 times or 5 times or whatever. All right, good job. Okay, we're going to go back into a balance. This is called the bridge balance. You can do this a whole bunch of ways. This lady right here is doing a bridge by keeping her feet on the ground. She starts out laying down. Notice that her fingers are pointing backward toward her toes, but her palms are up here and her thumbs are pointing toward her shoulders. A lot of kids will try and put their hands like this, where their thumbs are pointing away from their shoulders. That's not right. We want to put our hands like this so our thumbs are pointing toward our shoulders. That way we can push ourselves out, okay? Now, she also doesn't have any support here. She's got nothing there. She's just pushing her body up. That's really impressive. It's also hard to do if you're a beginner. So, one thing you can do instead is you can use a chair, and you can lay your back on the chair, lay the small of your back on the chair, and then lean over one side, touch the ground with your hands, and the other side, touch the ground with your feet. You could also put a bunch of pillows there underneath your back right here. And if you put the pillows there, that'll give you enough of a head start to get your bridge going. It's really fun. You can also have, if you got a, well, we'll stop there. So if you got a buddy about your size, you can have that buddy get down like in a horse pose, and you can use their back and bridge over them, but we'll do that in class. All right, good. So this is the bridge balance. Now we're going to go into a backward roll. Again, just do a few of these. This guy right here, he's standing up tall. He's going to crouch down and have a seat. Look at that C back. It's the shape of a C. This is a backward C. A nice rounded back so he can rock back like a rocking chair. Look at his hands. Before he ever rocks, he's got his hands up on the side of his head by his ears. Those hands are going to catch the ground. Right here you see he's catching the ground. Get my pointer on here. He's catching the ground with his hands before his head even starts rolling on the ground. He's got those hands catching, so he's there. He keeps those hands on the ground because his body rolls over. When his body rolls over, his hands are on the ground to push against that ground, and he lands back up on his knees or his feet. So standing position, crouch position, hands up, back is in a C, and he rolls out into a backward roll. All right, good job. Frog stand, one of my favorites. I feel like a magician when I do this in class. It's really fun, but it takes some practice. Don't do this on a hard ground. Don't know what this guy's doing. I guess he thinks he's an expert. But do this over carpet or a soft ground. But you're going to bend those elbows, put them on the ground, put your knees on your elbows, and when you get your knees on your elbows and your belly button over the middle of your hands, see how he has to rock forward? Then you can actually hold there. It's really cool. You look like a frog ready to pounce if you were going to pounce off your hands. So this is a frog stand. Give it a try. Even if you're not getting your feet off the ground, if you can lean forward with your knees against your elbows, that's great because we're going to do some things from that later on in the year. All right, so that's the frog stand. Now, all these stations that we've done today, you can go back to during a class time or just each day. Play the video out and give these things a try. Thanks a lot for listening. I'll see you in a bit.